Guys, we're fresh off that Resident Evil Showcase, and I have to make a video talking about this game once again. We got like 12 minutes of footage from the Resident Evil Showcase there, and I can honestly say I still don't feel like they have showed us much about this game whatsoever, and I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit here. Honestly, that entire 12 minutes felt like a giant ad campaign. I'm not a big fan of product placement in games. They're trying to sell us like high branded stuff, and honestly a lot of gamers are not going to be able to afford that stuff, you know. I mean, the watches might be limited to like 2,000 pieces or something, but it's still like a grand, over a grand, $2,000 for these watches, which is ridiculous. Just nobody in their right mind who's a gamer is really going to be able to afford that stuff, you know. Never mind the Porsche. There's no point in talking about a gamer being able to afford a Porsche unless you're a streamer that makes like a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe that is geared more towards them. Hard to say. But if it was actually like fan servicey what they were doing, they would have like an RPD watch maybe or something, or like maybe a throwback to his old vehicle that he rode in RE2, you know, like something that would actually feel more fan servicey. So it's actually no done for the gamers whatsoever. That's what kind of like irks me about the 12 minutes we just watched there. Kind of like they're trying to sell us stuff that we can't really afford. But anyways, beside the point, you kind of want to talk about the game itself. I still don't feel like they are showing us everything that this game has to offer, to be quite honest. I talked in my last video how I felt like Resident Evil 9 has a really high chance of actually splitting the fan base, which is a dangerous thing to try and approach, because if you're making like some of the game more around the horror vibe and then the other half of the game more around the action vibe, I actually do still think it's more going to be in Grace's favour than Leon's, because I've kind of stated she's the main character. But I do think stuff like that is kind of like bad for replayability, like ripping you out of one section and putting you into another. Like you are going to have people that vastly prefer one side of the other side of the coin. It's just kind of like bad for replayability, stuff like that. But I'm thinking like they might let you actually be able to choose certain chapters on replay value when the game is actually finished, which is fine, right? But part of me still wonders if the game will feel too short if you're just like cherry picking the Leon chapters or cherry picking the Grace chapters. The story is not going to make any sense either if you want to watch some of the cutscenes. If you're just skipping the cutscenes, playing the gameplay, cool. But then you're like, oh well, I was supposed to play as Leon in this section and it feels weird not having it there. Something about the replay value of this game is going to be skewed whether people like it or not. Even if they let you do all the Leon chapters on your own or all the Grace chapters on their own, they're still going to feel like there's something missing. So I still don't think this is going to be like a entirely replay friendly experience, in my honest opinion. Let's talk about the elephant in the room though. Every single thing they have shown in this game so far feels like possibly the first couple of chapters of the game. And it's funny that they don't want to show us what the rest of the game actually has to offer. Like nothing at all. Like all it would take is a little snippet of a different area, and that would probably make everyone's mind be at ease. But for some reason, they're just not interested in showing us any more that the game has to offer. I mean, when the game first got announced, they talked about returning to Raccoon City, and we have seen absolutely nothing about Raccoon City in any of the gameplay, any of the story gameplay, nothing. They've absolutely showed us nothing about it. And it reminds me of back in the day, if any of you were around for Metal Gear Solid 2 promotional material, Hideo Kojima basically lied to everybody, saying Solid Snake was like the main character of the game, and they only ever showed the tanker chapter when they were showing the promotional material for that game. Then when the game came out, that was barely any of the actual game. The actual game was playing as Raiden and the plant chapter. It's actually like ridiculous just how much was hidden from us, the consumers, before that game came out. And it reminds me of this with Resident Evil Requiem. I just don't believe we're seeing everything. And I do firmly believe that like the majority of the game is actually going to take place in Raccoon City. But it makes you wonder why they're hiding all of this from us, you know? Like, what is actually the point? Why not just show us like a little bit of gameplay from Raccoon City? Are they like worried about the game? Are they basically trying to pull like a Resident Evil 3 remake situation where they gave us an amazing demo that actually falsely showed us how the game was not going to be, because the demo is the best part of Resident Evil 3 Remake and everybody was excited about that game. Then the game came out and it was nowhere near able to keep the consistency of the gameplay that they had in that actual demo. So like something feels weird about Resident Evil 9 here because like everybody I ask about this game, what do you think it looks like? How do you think the gameplay looks? What are you thinking? Everybody thinks it looks mid that I'm talking to. And I honestly agree. Right now the game looks absolutely mid. It doesn't really have any excitement to the game. So honestly, it feels like they're like running like a fine line here of like losing people's interest. I don't think they want to give a demo for this game purely based on the fact that they don't know where to actually make a demo. Because if they give people the Grace section as a demo, some people will be bored. If they cherry pick a Leon section for a demo, some people might be bored of that and want to see the Grace gameplay. So I honestly think like the demo would paint the game in a bad light, if that makes sense, because it's not a consistent experience. So I don't even think there's remotely going to be a demo. It's surprising that people are still talking about getting one. Can you see how the game's structured? And like 70% of the game is no even getting shown, so they're not going to like take apart from that and give you the demo. It's weird. The whole game feels like a mess. I really do hope that when the game comes out, it's actually like going to blow us all away and like be like this amazing game that nobody's seen coming, and they held all this information back to excite people and be like really surprised about it. But I don't know, like it makes you wonder when you just see the 12 minutes we watched there trying to sell us watches and a car. It's kind of like a bit off. Nonetheless, guys, I'd really like to gather some opinions on what you guys think. Do you actually think they're lying about this game, like me? Am I just like huffing some cope here? Because honestly, it kind of feels like, well, I'm turning around and I'm saying all this stuff is going to be in the game because I really hope it's going to be in the game. Because I think if the game comes out in the way it is now, it might not really be up to much. So I really do hope they're actually holding things back on purpose at this point. That is actually what I'm hoping. There was also another section within this 12 minutes of product placement that made me absolutely certain they are holding stuff back, and that's when the guy was talking about the Porsche. You can actually clearly hear that he was cut off from talking in one of the sections that he was talking. He was talking about the Porsche, and I think he was cut off right when he was talking about Leon actually being able to drive the Porsche around. Because I do think you're going to be able to drive the car. That kind of like confirmed it to me a little bit, is actually something they kind of wanted you to pick up on. If you guys listen back to it, let me know what you think about it, because yeah, I do think you're actually going to be driving the car in this game around the derelict Raccoon City. At least that's what it feels like to me. I really do hope there's more to this game than meets the eye right now, because it really feels kind of suspect. Let me know what you guys thought about the showcase, and do you think like me, they're holding stuff back on purpose, or the game actually is going to be what they're showing now? I'd really love to hear. Take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one.